Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of having my friend. I mean, he's a friend of a lot of us, but unless you're on the opposite end of the cage from him, he's the one and only Malicious Mike Reyes. What's going on, Mike?
I'm doing good, brother. How about yourself?
Man, good to see you. Good to see your smiling face. Again, it's better than being on the opposite end of the holla from you because you might not see that smiling face.
Nah, you won't. you'll you'll get a hug from me afterwards. You might get a fist bump when the ref calls us in the middle, but other than that, you ain't gonna get nothing.
Yeah, man. And somebody that we both know, but you know better, Alexander Vallejo says, tuned in. Thank you, hermana. But damn, dude, it's been a crazy ass year, 2020.
Yeah, man, it's been a crazy year. A lot of changes, a lot of unforeseen tragedies happening in all of our lives. So it's been a crazy year, man. But the fact that you're here, that I'm here, that my loved ones are here, and that your loved ones are there, makes everything, well, man, I guess worth pushing through, I guess.
No, 1,000%. And Lolobo Alan Roque says, hello. What's good? And
hello, brother.
Yeah, Alan is an amateur fighter out of North Carolina, so he just won. And where a lot of people aren't getting fights right now, he just won a unanimous decision win like 3 weeks ago. So shout out to that guy.
Man, yeah, all props to everybody that's fighting right now. It's like I said, it's a crazy year. Everybody's had to adapt, and the fact that there's still people that want to compete. In my career, I mean, not my career, my profession, that still want to compete despite what's going on, and we already don't get credit enough for risking our health, our physical health. But now that everybody's health is at risk, now it makes it even more. It emphasizes it even more that we're willing to compete and to entertain despite what's going on. So props to everybody that's fighting right now.
No, 1,000%. And Cheddar333 says, love the stash. What a gentleman. Absolutely. I mean,
brother.
Yes, absolutely. And nice stash. No, 100%.
It's a work in progress, bro. It's getting thicker.
There you go. Now, I mean, talk about things that are getting thicker, right? I mean, you were in the thick of your mixed martial arts career, and then again, 2020 happened and it kind of put everybody, whether it be professionally, health-wise, you and I, we were talking off air, and our families kind of both got COVID, loved ones close to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my parents got COVID, and my sibling first, my youngest brother, he works out, got COVID from an employee there, got tested, came out positive. My family had to go, and my parents came out positive. The youngest, my sister, she came out negative, and my grandparents, who my brother was around the most, they thank God they came out negative as well. So I'm really blessed, and my parents had minimum symptoms, and they got over it quick. They were actually like, oh, when's our quarantine over, our self quarantine? Like, I want to get back to going to the stores and just doing essential things. So I'm really blessed that even though COVID affected me and my loved ones, that it was a minimum thing, not severe like other people are facing right now.
Yeah, and it's weird because usually when you're like, "Hey, stay positive," right? That's like awesome.
Yeah.
You stay positive too, but like I haven't seen that meme come across 2020 at all. Like, and I
No,
mean, I've been sharing a lot of memes, but stay positive was not one that's yet shared at all.
no. Since July, I've been seeing like the aliens are coming next month. That means so. I don't know. I've been looking outside my window every night trying to see if I spot an alien, but not yet. 2020 still got a few things in store for us.
Like, I think if we're gonna do like if we're gonna do aliens, right? I think we should send like Joe Rogan. I'd say like Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, Jesse Jackson, and the Ghost of Pancho Villa. Like that's my all-star team to kind of talk with the aliens and try to figure some shit out. You know,
I would add Dave Chappelle in there, man. I think
Chappelle
Dave
too.
Chappelle could
Yes,
make him laugh. I
yes.
think he could really like. I think the aliens will vibe with Dave Chappelle, man. I think everybody does.
Could you imagine the fucking aliens getting high with Chappelle and Rogan?
I can imagine
Oh,
that, actually.
dude, that's fucking. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts, man. But I mean, obviously, it's been a weird year. But I mean, you're a fighter yourself, right? And it looks like your gym has been able to, West Coast Jiu Jitsu out there in Oxnard under the great Brian Espinosa and Knuckleheads Boxing under the great Coach Haas, right? So it looks like
Mhm.
things are starting to pick up a little bit, right?
Yeah, well, we've been doing outdoor training at Knuckleheads for as long as it's been okay to do it, and it's still going on right now. But like the indoor was fine as long as you're like 12 feet apart for a while, and like things have been changing day to day, week to week. So it's I'm fortunate to be able to continue to train and the gyms right now are suffering, not just the ones I go to, but all of them. So I feel really bad for people that are trying to start up something positive and trying to teach people martial arts and self-defense, and have to deal with this like kind of crazy economic situation where they're paying rent to stay open, to stay in business, but they can't open their doors to clients and customers, so they're burning a hole in their pocket. So I'm like I said, I'm very grateful that I can still do what I love, but I feel bad for so many other people out there that they can't.
No, 1000%. And the fact that, you know, fighting in many ways give you something to literally and figuratively, something to fight for. When you have something taken away from you so unceremoniously, like say you're training, in late February, right? You're training, and then maybe you took a week off, like the first week of March, right? And
Mm,
then you wouldn't get it for another 8 months, theoretically speaking, right?
yeah, I mean it sucks. Like fighting already was like you said, like it's hard to get fights. Nothing's set in stone. Like even all the way up to the day of the fight, somebody could pop for COVID or have gotten hurt in the back room warming up. Like it's such an uncertain sport, and it's just a rough. Like you said, we gotta fight to kind of do what we do.
So I got it. For giving yourself and the people around you something to fight for, right? Like I
Mhm.
want to know, how did like combat sports find you?
I don't know, bro. To be honest, I have some theories. So my friends in high school were competing, and well, we competed in wrestling after our senior year of folk style season. It was kind of like, well, college, what are we gonna do? I wanted to go wrestle in a college, but I was a procrastinator and I took forever to do it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Ventura College. I'm gonna wrestle for the club, for the county club, And then once I make a name, you know, at these tournaments, then I'll go to a community college wrestle, and then eventually go to a Division 1 school and wrestle there. And I had a whole plan, like, you know, I wanted to be in the Olympic Training Center and train for wrestling. Like, I had only four years of wrestling when I graduated. So I was like, for what I did with 4 years, I felt like with a whole 10, 12 years of wrestling, I could really achieve something great. So that was my plan. My friends were already doing MMA, training it at least, and I was like, don't really like that. I'm not comfortable with that. I had boxed a little bit as a kid, but I wasn't too interested in cage fighting. You know, that's kind of like savage shit. Like, I don't want to. I'll stay away from that kind of stuff. But my friends were doing it, and you know, the summer comes by, and we're just, you know, being young, stupid kids going everywhere. Um, and they were like, "Oh, let's go to the mall." I'm like, "Okay, let's go to the mall." And they took a wrong turn. I'm like, "Where are we going?" And they're like, "We're going to the gym." I'm like, okay, wow. And it was the summer, so like I was dressed in board shorts and a tank top. So it was like, you know, you could train in that stuff. So I got there and I started training, and I fell in love with MMA. Like, it was I was addicted. I was hooked right away. And that might have been like a Monday or Tuesday. And by Saturday, my friend had a smoker fight who had been training for like 6 months. So he had been training for 6 months. He was gonna have his first smoker fight, and I'm going there to, you know, like, hell yeah, let's go. I want to see you fuck shit up. And then my my coach at the time, he pops out and he's like, "Hey, how much do you weigh?" I'm like 140. He's like, "Oh, you're fighting." I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean I'm fighting? He's like, "Oh, you're fighting." He's like, I brought my stuff to like kind of help him warm up. So I had my mouthpiece, I had my gloves, I had everything, you know. So he's like, "Oh, you have your gear. You're gonna fight." He didn't give me a choice. I didn't choose. I was like, okay. I just kind of got thrown in the cage, you know. Well, it was a ring actually, but I remember being put in a submission. I'm like, what the heck is this? Because I had drilled for maybe like 4 days, and you know, like, I don't remember everything that I learned. You know, it was everything was new to me. So I being put in a live situation like that, it sucked. And like, I almost went out a couple times, but I ended up like just getting back up to my feet, throwing punches, wild punches, and then taking them down, and then not getting subs. So eventually, I ended up winning my first smoker fight. But I was like a fish out of water, and I freaking loved it. I don't understand. Like I said, like, I'm still confused to this day. Like, if I were to go back in time and look at that, I'd be like, damn, that's crap. That's a shitty performance. Like, you probably shouldn't fight. You know, like, you don't know what you're doing. Why would you sign up for this? You know, if I was anybody else, I'd be like, you know, this is not for you. And look where I am now. So, it was crazy, man. Like, fighting kind of found me. Like, I didn't have to go out and look for it. And since I was born, when I was born, it was under the worst circumstances. So I've always been a fighter. I've always fought. So by nature, I'm just a fighter. Like I said, I don't like confrontation or nothing. I'm not a confrontational person. Like, I'd be the kid being bullied. So I didn't belong there. I didn't belong fighting. I don't belong in the cage. But I felt like that only made me more suitable for the type of sport. You know, that I don't like confrontation.
My goodness, that's crazy. And for those who don't know what smokers are, those are like the unsanctioned bouts. Like right now, I mean, obviously, I mean, we still have it, right? But for amateurs, you go, if you're in California, you go through the camo system, right? Like you have amateur fights and everything. But I mean, smokers existed, essentially before there was like a regulated, commission for amateurs. And even like, 20, 30 years ago, smokers were the only fights that you would get. And I mean, it looks like because of COVID and California really, the state athletic commission not really green lighting fights, it looks like we might go back to smokers. It's weird.
Yeah, and all underground fights. I mean, that's pretty cool. Like Fight Club, nobody knows about it. We don't put it on social media. Just keep your mouth shut. Snitches get stitches.
No, my goodness.
Yeah, we're gonna have to end up doing that kind of stuff. Just to be able to, like I said, like do what we love. Like it's maddening. Everybody gets to experience that this year of what it's like to be forced to do nothing and kind of self-reflect and kind of take in who you are, what's in your life and stuff. And yeah, it made me so much more grateful for where I'm at, because I'm always thinking like, oh, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Oh, I'm not at the top of the mountain. I gotta keep pushing. But when I step outside, and like this year has really made us kind of step outside the box and kind of see the box of our lives and kind of see where we're at from a outside point of view. And the way I see it is that I should be a lot more grateful for where I am, that I worked hard to get where I'm at. So why am I stressing over what I don't have, as far as financial status, professional status, like material things? Why am I focused on that when, like I was telling you earlier, like what matters is that my family's healthy, that all my loved ones are okay, that I get to do what I love, and what more can I ask for?
Yeah, it has a way of putting things into perspective. And Shaman Steve says, "Afternoon, gentlemen. Afternoon, Shaman
Good
Steve."
afternoon, brother.
Yeah, it's a good brother right there. And the patience, exactly. Well said. It's patience. And it's obviously it's a time to reflect, but also you kind of realize what's important and what isn't.
hmm Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I never really cared about social media and stuff, but it's like everybody is supposed to doing all kinds of crazy stuff, going out and stuff, and then now like their profiles are dead because they're like, I have nothing that interesting to show people. Like all I have is my kid. Well, why the fuck am I gonna show my kid? I don't get it, man. Like, people are funny, but it's a trip, that how much it's affected all of us, our day-to-day lives, like what we do, like who we're around. A lot of people like me. I'm always been I'm kind of good by myself. Like I kind of crave isolation, whereas other people crave attention. They crave other people, human contact and stuff. So like those people really suffer. Get lonely. And they don't get a chance to be out and hang out with other people anymore.
Yeah, and it's weird, right? I mean, everything that you thought you knew, like you're like, oh, I've got a good job. Oh, I live in a nice place, or a decent place. Or I'm just like treading water. Like I'm just, one thing, kind of it. Like if I didn't have jiu-jitsu, if I didn't have my job, if I didn't have a particular relationship or whatever, you feel kind of secure in those things, right? And then
hmm
all of those things literally got taken away from you, and you really figured out who people were, and that's the double side of the social media. Like, oh, like what can I do? Like I saw some like not so nice things from people, like
Yeah.
I saw some great things, and then I saw some like not so great things. And
Yeah.
for those people that do those things, kudos to you or whatever. But like for me, like I was just like, it was either going to be like podcasts and memes, and not offensive memes, but like just like if you're gonna like see me in your feed, like it was gonna be, you're either gonna get like introduced to some awesome person much like yourself, or you're gonna laugh your ass off by like the dumbest dad memes possible.
Yeah. Yeah, my fiance Alex, she's always telling me that I like a bunch of dad memes. Like all the memes I show, she's like, "This is a dad meme." I'm like, damn, I'm not even a father, and I already got my dad memes in line.
Once you get to a certain age, I think you're like the appreciation for life happens, right? So like even the corniest shit will make you like, ha,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's just simple things, man. Simple things make you laugh.
Absolutely. Another good brother, Fernando Lepe. It's Malicious, Mike Reyes, 100%. Thank you, Fernando.
What's
You're
up,
a good
brother?
brother. Yeah, man. And Mike Reyes is a super cool dude. And have to ask, what made you decide to do the mustache?
I don't know. Well, I already had like a Mexican ass stash, so I saw other people. I saw like the old school, like handlebar mustache. I'm like, that's cool. So I tried doing it. There was a fighter too, Uncle Creepy. He had done
Yeah,
it.
Ian McCall. Yeah.
Yeah, Ian McCall did it, and I was like, that's a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing. And you don't see that often. Even now, like I don't really see too many people with. I see more people with it, but not too many people. So I was like, okay, that's kind of good way to like stand out and show my individuality. So I started doing this, doing the comb over, because before that, like I had a afro and I had hair that I didn't really care about. But then, as a fighter, I gotta present myself professionally, and I gotta show professionalism. I can't just show up with sweatpants and joggers and claim to be a champion. Like I don't. I feel like if you're a champion, you gotta present yourself in the best way at all times. So when like you see me, even walking into the arena, like I'm dressed up, I'm done up all nice, and for weigh-ins the same way. I'm dressed in a nice ensemble because I want to show that I'm professional. I'm here for business. I'm not here to like be comfortable. I'm here to look professional. That's how I feel that others should present themselves too. But to each his own.
No, 100%. And the thing about it, especially in times like this, right? Like being a good fighter, right? Being a good fighter when there's no fights, like, what you have to make people buy pay-per-views, right? Or buy a fight shirt or whatever it is that you're doing. Make yourself, you know, applicable to sponsors, right? So you can like, quit the day job and just like live to train to fight, right? So at a time where there's no fights, you have to have something else, right? You have to have a persona, and look none other than like The Rock, Stone Cold. We're finding out about like the Undertaker, right? Now that he's kind of like done with pro wrestling, but their characters are essentially them just cranked up to like 10 or 12, right? So
Yeah.
with that all being said, it's like the persona. Like you can be quiet, right? Well, why can't you be like the quiet assassin, right? Like,
Yeah.
and one thing I really love about you is, again, Malicious, right? Malicious Mike Reyes, right? You could have been Savage Mike Reyes. You could have been Killer Mike. I mean, there might be one of those in the rap game and everything like
Yeah.
that.
There's
But like,
one.
right? But I mean, you took it a different way, right? Like like if people who like you were educating fools, right? Like if you didn't know what malicious meant, well, not only are you going to look it up, but you're going to know why I am the exact definition of what it is, right? And it's essentially saying the same thing, right? But like, I it drives me wild every time I hear fighters go like, like, oh, I'm killer, or like get like a prototypical tattoo and whatever. And I'm like, what is going to make you stand apart from the pack that people are going to be engaged in you? And again, like at a time where there's no fights, to be able to engage your audience, your following, right? And to be, I mean, we're at Tito Chuck 3, right? If Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell couldn't make something out of their name, like what the hell are we all doing,
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you got to promote yourself as much as you focus on your abilities in the cage. You got to focus on your abilities outside the cage. You got to be able to present yourself well. You got to be able to do what I'm doing right now is doing interviews. Like I'd much rather work on my art or like do other things. I mean, not saying that like that's things I rather do, but there's things that like that other people have going on, and they're like, I'm not gonna make time for that. Oh, I have more important things to do. Like for me, this is just as important as if I were to train, because it's a way for the people that watch me fight to get to know who I am as a person, you know. So it's equally important for me to do this that it is for training, you know, because if I were to be the best interview person, the best person you could have on the interview, but I didn't work hard, I wouldn't be a great fighter. And if I was in the gym all the time and I worked hard and I was the best, but I didn't care to speak, or I didn't care for anybody to know who I was, then I wouldn't be a great fighter neither. You know, it's a balance. Like you got to be able to do all the stuff that a champion needs to do. And I really that really got put into perspective for me when I watched The Last Dance with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah,
Like,
the
and
Jordan
I
documentary. Yeah.
yeah, and I was and I had read his trainer's book, Tim Grover's Relentless, and and a lot of the stories that were brought up in The Last Dance were brought up in the book Relentless. So when I saw that, I was just reminded of the stuff that I read about how Michael Jordan was like so confident. Like they called him the Black Cat because he would go to the other team's locker room whether or not he knew anybody, and he would just like look around, you know, kind of scope out the scene, say what's up to whoever he wanted everybody to think he was really trying to speak to, but just like everybody, just kind of like size them up and be like, all right, and then just walk out. And that's why they called him the Black Cat, because he was just like bad luck. Not and everybody wasn't worried about how many points am I going to score, what am I going to do, how many assists am I going to have. They're worried about what is Michael Jordan going to do, what crazy spectacle is he going to do. So and the way he carried himself, you know, like the way he made his brand, the way he was like the fans adored him, like that was all him. And you know, it's he wasn't faking none of it. And for some people, you have to really make an effort to put yourself out there, and for some people it just looks easy. And the way, I mean, for me it's hard, but I try to make it look as easy as possible. I try to be as comfortable as possible when I'm like, even right now, like I was nervous to do this interview, but I just, you know, relax. I'm just having a conversation with a friend, and you know, like I was saying, like I want my friends and my followers, you know, people that added me on Instagram, Facebook, or people that I grew up with to know who I am right now, you know, not who I was then, or who they think I am, but to really know who I am as a person.
No, 100%. You know, which again, that's it. You know, and for me, you know, the people that might not be as comfortable, right? Like it's up to me, and not just me, but other people that are interviewers or podcasters or whatever. Like if you're able to tell a good story, right? Like then it doesn't matter like who you're interviewing or podcasting with, you know, to basically make it fun for whoever is is like
Hmm.
to have that comfortability, right? Like where
Yeah.
you can, you know, kind of express yourself in a way that you can't in a cage or a ring.
Hmm. Yeah, and people only see your performances, but they don't really know who you are as a person. So they just see whether you get the dub or whether you get the L. And you know, there's so much more that goes into us. People just assume that we're Neanderthals that, you know, will sell our bodies and our souls for money, but it's not really about that. Or at least for me, it's not about that. For me, it's about being the best, and like I relish in the fact that I get to be put in a cage with another man who trains, you know, like not just somebody out that's outmatched, somebody that trains for a living, somebody that wants to be the best, and we get to swab it out and figure out whose dream is stronger, whose will is stronger, whose mentality is stronger. Like for me, that's a beautiful art. Like, you know, I'm an artistic person, and I don't see a more beautiful art than that, you know, than being able to physically um show your capabilities. And, you know, martial artists are the best athletes in the world, and you know, people are starting to get that idea, but we still have a long ways to go.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, but I mean, I mean, once you're doing something of note, you know, there is always. I don't think anybody would, you know, feel like completed, right? I mean, I just got done listening to like a podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Undertaker, and even after like 30 years of playing that Undertaker, you know, character, and I mean, like literally 30 years from 90 to like 2020,
Mhm.
you know, like he's just like, man, if I felt a little bit better, I, you know, might have one more run, but I'm good with
Mhm.
how, you know, like if you have I guess an art to be able to cultivate and everything like that, like you're never ever going to feel like you're the best, right? You're
Mhm.
always going to be striving to some extent, like an imaginary goal, like, you know,
Yeah.
because like once you're on top of the world, you're like, hey, I wonder what the hell Saturn is doing. I wonder what the hell Neptune is doing. Let's go to
Yeah.
Pluto, like, you know.
Yeah. There's always more. And that's like the scary thing for me is like a fighter, because I think long term, like I want to get out when the getting's good. You know, I don't want to be like those fighters that stay in too long and try to like they need that they crave that that competition. Like when I walk away, I want to walk away feeling fulfilled, like I did everything I could. And you know, basketball for me is a good example. Like it's not a physical sport like fighting, but I feel like I can relate a lot with the players, like especially Kobe. Kobe was my idol, and you know he died this year, and that was freaking horrible. And I still I still think about that, you know, like how great of a person he was and stuff. But you know that it's a mental thing, you know, to be the best and to strive for something that other people see as impossible, and they'll keep telling you like you can't do it, and you know you can't like him with injuries. They said, hey, you're past your prime. He's scored over 60 points in his last game, and you know, and people count me out because of my record and the people I fought and the losses I've taken, but I don't feel like I'm anywhere close to being done. But when I feel like I'm done, I hope that I can have the resolve to be like, all right, I'm walking away from this.
No, that's it, you know. And I actually, let me see if I can do this because just to show you how far we go back. Let me see if this thing will let me do it. But I have kind of a blast from the past type deal. Let's see. Let's see. Ba ba ba. So, oh God, I can't. Oh, I didn't do it. Ah, damn it,
Well,
damn it.
was it?
I was uh, I was gonna play that promo, but
Oh yeah, I
apparently they
remember
met.
that.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll probably tag it in the comments, but yeah, man, and that just shows, you know, in terms of like in terms of your willingness to, you know, to strive. You know, it's cool that you have Kobe as a role model and mentor because you know, and it's funny because Fernando Lipe says, "What's your favorite Lakers player of all time?" And
Kobe.
yeah, and
Hands
what was
down.
it about? What was it about him? I mean, obviously you mentioned the you know, the injuries and everything that he had to endure, but like
So
what
many
specifically?
so many things, like I feel like were very similar, and Mamba and Malicious are the same thing. Like Kobe was such a nice person. Like, you know, you speak to me, like I'll be the same person I am with you, with anybody. Like I'm a nice person, but like you said, you know, if you're across the howler from me, you know, I don't care who your mom is, who your kids are, who you love, who you hate. Like I don't care. I don't care what your dreams are. Like I'm going in after you. And Kobe was like that. Like that's why the Black Mamba is the Black Mamba, because you know it was uh he didn't need provocation to attack. You know, he just the fact that you were standing in his way of a championship was all he needed to embarrass you. And like I said, you know, I love the fact that when I'm across from somebody in the cage is a professional. Kobe was playing against the best of the best. He was playing against all professionals, but he made them look like amateurs, you know. And I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed that when things got harder for him, he really honed into his Mamba mentality. And you know, I feel like right now that like 2020 has been hard. You know, I had back-to-back injuries in 2019, 2020. I had back-to-back surgeries, and things are the hardest. That's when you need to really push through it and really hone into who you are as a competitor. And I think Kobe. I mean, no, I know that Kobe did that, and that's what brought about the Black Mamba. So when I refer to Malicious, like you know, sometimes I'll be with my teammates or you know my coaches or even my fiance, and I'll say something and I might come across aggressive or aggravated or something. They're like, "Whoa, slow down, Malicious!" Like because they realize like you know it's not really me. Like I'm just worked up or something, you know. But that's Malicious. Malicious doesn't need to be provoked. Malicious is just out there to take your soul, you know, out there to dominate you, out there to kill you. Like I'm not here to compete with people. I'm not here to get my hand raised and win by points. Like I'm here to put you send you to the hospital. Like I want you on a bed. I want you in the hospital bed. I want the ref to be your only source of mercy. Like I want to annihilate you, and I want the ref to be the one. Like I appreciate the ref so much because that's freaking dangerous to be the third man in there with two killers, and then one guy's killing the other one, and you know like you gotta stop him. At some point, you're like, okay, this guy's done. I gotta stop this guy. And to stop somebody when like the animal in them, like their animal instincts already took over, like I respect that. And you know, when I fight, I want the ref to be the only one to see you out. I don't want the judges to see you out. I don't want them to like, you know, have anything to do with the outcome of the fight. I want the ref to be the one to step in and show you mercy.
Jeez, show you mercy. This is like damn near biblical. Like, holy hell. I mean, I'm so glad that I am. This is the first time I've been glad to not be 125 pounds, and then also glad to be friend, not foe. Because holy hell, you know. Which you know, and it's funny because Rafael Newborn Morel says, "What goes through your mind before you step into your fight?" Which you gotta like. What is the process?
I'm like, where the fuck are the exits? Where can I walk out? I think about quitting. I'm like, why did I do this? Why am I doing this? Why couldn't I have gone to school? Why couldn't I have been a lawyer or a psychologist like my mom said, or an artist like my grandma said? Like why am I doing this? And another person that I have so much respect for and I idolize. I don't idolize any fighters because of you know just out of I don't know, just out of instinct, I guess, because you know we do the same thing. I don't really idolize anybody, but I idolize Jordan, I idolize Kobe Bryant, and I idolize Mike Tyson because Tyson would talk about that, about how he would be in the cage and just be, I mean, in the walking to the ring and just be insecure and be and have and know that he trained for these people and put them on a pedestal and been afraid of losing to them and been afraid of ridicule. And the closer and closer he gets to the ring, the more and more confident he feels. And by the time he steps in there, he's gone, and nobody could touch him. Like that like to me was like damn. Like when I heard that, and and I had heard that, and I never got to live it. And in my past, with this 3 fight winning streak that I was on, like that I'm on, I feel like all 3 fights I felt like that. And I only got finishes in 2 of them. I didn't finish my fight with Heinrich, and that fight I had so much adversity. Like that fight was so hard for me to even step into the cage. So I feel like I still embodied that kind of mentality, that I was just being in there, like even though I'm scared, even though I don't want to lose and I'm afraid of ridicule and losing, like when I step in there, like I'm untouchable. And even if you hurt me, even if like Heinrich had my knee all jacked up, like I had to get
Yeah, remember? I was there.
he said the other day he posted it that he got hurt too, like he blew out his knee too. So we both got our knees hurt in that fight, like, and neither of us tapped. So that just goes to show you that, like we're warriors. We're friends. Like, you would think, like, a friend gets one over you, you're like, okay, hey buddy, I'll tap. We fought each other like we were not friends at all. Like we hated each other. And I still look back at that fight and I still have mad respect for Heinrich, because he was willing to step in there with me, and we shared the cage together. He put me through some fucked up shit. I put him through some fucked up shit. And at the end of the day, we still have mad love for each other, mad respect. We still keep in contact. So I mean, I'm glad. I'm so grateful that I get to do what I love, and and like all the people that I've met along the journey, including yourself. Like I'm so happy, man. I'm so right now in this point of my life, like, I'm just happy where I'm at, and I'm even happier to keep along this path and to come across whatever may it be, whether it was like another year like 2020 or or all success and riches and fame and glory. I'm willing to accept whatever, as long as the end game is me being the best, me being the champion.
No, and champion. It's not just a title, because I mean, obviously there aren't too many championship belts in Combate Americas, right? Like in La Jaula, right? So, but there's a shit ton of fighters, right,
Mm-hmm.
under the roster, and it's just like the championship mentality. It's something that is unforshakable, right? And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it takes some building up to, because I'm sure there were times where like Kobe didn't feel it, or there were times when Jordan didn't feel it, or anybody that we revere as great in their respective fields. I mean, obviously the doctors and nurses that are fighting COVID, like on the front lines, like to be great at something. I'm sure there's like doubt, right? But
Yeah.
it's that championship mindset and entity. It raises above all of that, right? Above all circumstance, and kind of brings you to I guess, to the holy ground, if to use a
Yeah.
euphemism.
Yeah, well, it's unmistakable when you're confronted with a champion, and like I said, I've been really secure. I'm not a fighter at heart. Like I mean, like I said, I was a fighter since I was born, because the circumstances that I was born under were hard. Like I shouldn't be here today because of the complications during my birth. So I'm a fighter, but as far as like fighting people and confrontation, like I hate that. Like I don't like that. But I know for certain I have what is it? I know beyond doubt that I was put on this earth to do something great. And when I found fighting, that's when I knew what it was. So like that's what my life's about, is pursuing greatness. Like I want to be great. I want to be remembered as the, if not one of the greatest athletes of all time, and that's a hard thing to accomplish right now, especially because there's so many great athletes. There's so many great people competing right now. So it's a hard thing to accomplish. But like you said, like people champions accomplish things that seem impossible, that seem that like out of people's reach. So and you know, another thing I noticed, you know, that in my life, the older I've gotten, is how to just relax. Like why am I gonna stress and like go on Twitter and go on Instagram and be like, oh no, you suck, no, your mom, you know, and back and forth like with fans or other fighters. Like, why do I need to do that? Like, I know I'm the best. I know I'm here to be the best. And if you're better than me, then we'll find out then. Like, I'm willing to be in there with you. So why do I need to talk smack to you? Why do I need to put you down? Why do you need to try to put me down? And what I've noticed is that these people are commenting, tagging me, mentioning my name in interviews. Like, why? Like, I don't think about you. Like, I don't even waste a thought on you on a daily basis. Like, unless like I'm tired and I'm like, oh, I need to think about this motherfucker so I can fucking hit the bag harder. Like, you know, other than that like kind of anger, I don't need you in my mind. I don't need to think about you. And I feel like all these other guys in combates and in my weight class, people that I've already fought in, and or people that want to fight me, like they're focused on me and I'm focused on me. So, you know, it's true what they say: winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners. And you know, they're focused on me and they're focused on getting that match with me. And I'm like, okay, we'll see it. But you know, by the time you get that, you're gonna regret what you wish for. You're not like I said, like I'm not gonna show you mercy. I'm not gonna. You think your dream's stronger than mine. You think your will and your heart are stronger than mine, and I'm gonna take your will. I'm gonna take your mind. I'm gonna rip your heart out of your chest. You know, just to show you that mine's stronger than yours. So you know, that champion mentality is something you can't mistake, and I feel like everybody knows it. And I feel like the last person that realized it was me. And you know, like I got hurt and I couldn't do anything about it, and I was just miserable and like depressed. Then I realized, like, I took a step back and I'm like, damn, like, where I'm at is it's really a great place. Like I'm in a good place. And then like it was showing more and more in my life. Like, oh, certain so and so, oh, Michael Reyes versus so and so. Oh, let me fight Michael Reyes. Oh, Michael Reyes won't last with me. Oh, Michael Reyes, like, okay, just keep bringing me up. Like, I ain't even worried about you or your boy or whoever. Like, I'm worried about me and being the best. And that kind of flipped the switch in my mind. You know, I was like, okay, I'm I'm that person I wanted to be. You know, when you realize like you're trying to be this person, you're growing and you're growing and you're trying to be somebody and you never feel like you're them because you always feel like you need to grow. But I feel like where I am right now is a really good sign that I'm gonna become the person I've always wanted to be. So I'm really happy, you know, like a lot of people right now are sad and I feel for them and you know, um things could be worse, you know, like I'm really blessed with the life I have and the people that are in my life, and you know I'm glad that they're still in my life. I've known people that died of COVID and you know died of sickness, and you know like this year has been really crazy. You know, it's been really mind blowing for every one of us, and for me it's been more of a year to kind of like a break, you know, like a timeout. Like okay, let me kind of assess my life, assess myself, and figure out if this is really what I want to do. And I had a lot of moments since the last time I fought that I thought about quitting, thought about retiring. I thought like, okay, I need to get a job. I need to go back to school. I need to provide for my fiance. I want to make her my wife. I want to have a kid. I mean, my goal when I was a kid was to be a parent when I was in my early 20s. I'm gonna be 29 and I have no kids, so as far as that personal goals, like I'm not there yet. So I and I'm not like distraught or like, oh man, like there's no chance for me. It's more like okay, like in a fight, you gotta bite down on your mouthpiece, you can put your chin down and freaking and get yours, you know. And that's how I feel right now. Like I've reflected and I've realized that this is the path that I need to be on, and I need to see it through. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to you know, be the best. Whether it's taking L's, like I'm not here to be like I'm gonna be undefeated and I'm gonna win every single fight. But like I said, I'm gonna try to send you away on a you know, stretcher. I want the ref to stop the fight. I want you to lay there for a minute while I'm celebrating and, you know, being happy. I want you to lay there and when you come to realize that, you know, you fucked up signing a contract versus me with Michael Reyes. You know, you should have known when you saw Malicious Michael Reyes that you were gonna be in for a hurting. So, you know, this year has been a trip, and you know, I keep bringing up 2020 because I feel like everybody watching this can really relate because it wasn't easy for me. I can't imagine it was easy for you because you know you've had to adapt and you know do things different to do what you enjoyed doing. Everybody else, we all have to make sacrifices. We all have to make compromises, and the fact that we're still here is hope enough to get yourself out of bed, to do something, to tell somebody you love them, to you know, like you don't have to see them in person. You know, you could just do it at home. You know, I like older adults that I know. They're like always talking about millennials. Like, oh, these millennials, they don't care. I'm like, I guess I'm a baby boomer. You know, I'm a baby boomer in a millennial's body because I feel the same way. Like, you know, you guys are focused on going out and partying and drinking and doing all kinds of stupid shit because you guys are in your 20s or early 30s when really you got to step back and look at what you have. You know, you might have a good job, you have good support system, you have life, you have breath in your lungs. What is there to be like, oh fuck this, I'm not gonna wear a mask, I'm not gonna social distance because it's stupid. I'm not gonna be told what to do. Fucking reality check. Our whole lives are being told what to do. You know, we live in a cash rules everything around me. You freaking, you're all about the money. You're all about capitalism. So why are you gonna act brand new when somebody's telling you to put a mask on? Like I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like not political or anything like that, but like you can't tell me what to do or what to wear as I go to work, where they tell me what to do and what to wear.
Yeah, and when to do it, and
Yeah,
it's stupid. Like I'm not gonna be a slave to this system. Like, bro, you work a 9 to 5? Yeah. You pay taxes? Yeah. You kill anybody lately? You run anybody over? You drive drunk lately? No, no, no. Well, then you're fucking following somebody else's rules. That just because you don't choose to break them doesn't mean there's other people that want to. Just like this, there's some people that are like, oh, let me put on a mask. Then you put on 2 masks, you know, double strap that thing. And then there's people that are like, I'm gonna go cough on you just to show you that the corona is fake, you know. And yeah, I don't like to get political neither. Like this year's been so polarizing as far as
yeah.
moral beliefs and political beliefs. But I talk to people that are on both sides, and I tell them most of us are in the middle. I'm like, what you're saying and what the person on the other side saying, I agree with them on this point, but I agree with you on this point. So what does that mean for me? Like, does that mean you know, I'm in the middle because I feel like I have some values and morals that align with these people, and I have some values and morals that align with other people. And I think it's so stupid, and I think it brings out the ugliness in us that we're like, I'm not gonna listen to you because you're on the other team. It's like, no, we're all part of the same team. We all inhabit the same planet. We all, at the end of the day, have to see each other at work or
Yeah.
wherever we see at home or wherever we see each other. Like, why can't we just find common ground? Why can't we just like, okay, agree to disagree on stuff?
Yeah.
And like, oh, you're fucking fake and you're a liar and you're fake and you're a liar and all you're spreading is BS and no, all you're spreading is BS. Where are you gonna get? You know? So
Yeah.
like I said, I don't like to get political, but I feel bad for so many people that and so many families and so many friendships that like how I am, they can't act like that. They can't act like, oh, I'll hear you out. And you know, if I don't agree with you, I'll tell you why I don't agree with you. And you know, we can go on with our lives and see each other and, you know, be friends. But you know, I know that you don't agree with what I agree with on this thing, and that's the way it should be. And
Yeah.
or people are like, I hate you. I'm gonna unfriend you on Facebook. I'm gonna block you. It's ugly, man. It's an ugly world out there, and as much hope as I have for my future, I'm afraid for everybody else's because I see what everybody's going through, and I see that some people aren't dealing with it the same way I am. You know, like me, where I'm more focused on the future and what I can do right now. People are just pessimistic and thinking hate and violence and all this stuff. So you know, I don't like to get political and I keep bringing up 2020, but this year, if anything, it's been an eye opening year, just to see like the real nature of people, to see the real nature of the way the world works and what we have to sacrifice and compromise in order to coexist with each other, you know, and what we gotta tolerate and what we gotta what we're intolerant of. But you can't be like, oh, you gotta be tolerant of everything except for this.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, well then, you know, then you're showing the same ugliness that you're criticizing. You know, like, oh, freedom of speech, but you can't say this about this person or you can't say this about this person. Okay, then what's freedom of speech really mean? What does freedom of expression really mean if I can't express myself without getting canceled or without getting freaking death threats? So yeah, I see it on all levels, like from
Yeah.
either everyday people to celebrities. Like you see celebrities get canceled, and when I wanted to do this interview, I'm like, hopefully I don't say nothing that gets me canceled. I haven't even gotten my my series premiere, and I'm already gonna get canceled.
No, because I'm not gonna let you fucking do that. I fucking care way. I mean, you're family to me. You like, like, you're on fucking like neutral fucking territory. So like,
Yeah,
and if you say something, I'll say something fucking dumber, and everybody will forget about what you say.
and
So,
they were like,
I,
just cancel Adam.
yeah, why not?
Hey, you
Like,
take that bullet from me, man. That says a lot.
dude, I mean, you've been there from the very beginning, and I think I've got this right. So here we go. For those who don't know, I'm gonna show you guys a little video of he wasn't malicious at all then. He was El Guapo. So
Let's get that audio. Damn, what was I thinking wearing that beanie? Oh man. I hate looking back at things from the past. I was watching like my shadow boxing from like 6 years ago. I'm like, God, that's garbage. I was freaking like I said, if I were to go back to the day I made my smoker debut, I'd been like, kid, pack them up, pack those gloves up, and go back to school, bro.
oh, we're not. We still got like 20 seconds to go, bro.
Yeah, I know. Hey, my back looks trim. That's good. That's a good one.
There you go. I'm just saying.
There's some light at the end of the tunnel. My hair's looks like shit, but okay. Yeah, I remember that interview. Your boy Boston was the one that filmed it, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's still playing. Holy shit! What the hell? All right, yeah, yeah, Bosun, dude. And talk about Bosun. Kind of you're crazy enough, but like he was actually shooting um Kobe before he died.
Yeah,
So
I saw that. I follow him on Instagram. And I seen that, and I told him like, dude, congratulations. Like I don't hate on nobody that sees out their dreams, and like I don't know what his personal dreams are, but for anybody to have Kobe sitting across from you, you're filming him, and like I said, he's not the same person he is on the court. He's really nice, and to be around that aura, to be around that like energy and that person, like that's awesome. So yeah, I give him mad props. I give him mad props for coming that far in his career to be like, who can say that? Like, oh yeah, I filmed the interview with how many photographers or cameramen could be like, yeah, film Kobe. That's a big accomplishment for me.
yeah, I mean, you got filmed first. I mean, he filmed you first. Bosun Wang filmed you first before he did Kobe. So just saying,
Mhm.
it's not
Yeah, I
not a
set him
bad place.
I set him up for the opportunity.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Speaking of opportunities, Shaman Steve said had the opportunity to meet Mr. Reyes at King of the Cage event in Ontario a couple of years back. He was with Froggy and Lion, Joe Henley, and he carries himself with dignity and class.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. That means so much to me. I try. I come from humble humble backgrounds, humble beginnings. So I try to keep that humility, carry it with me wherever I go. And it's hard because I when people see me in that setting, I'm like it's not me, like I gotta go full malicious. Like the minute I step into the hotel and I know I'm gonna see my opponent, like I'm not me anymore. So for somebody to see that side of me in that setting, like it says a lot that I do it appropriately. That I show I show my real nature when I can, and when I need to, I shut that out and I go full malicious. So
Yeah.
I'm really thank you so much for saying that dignity in class. Those are really big compliments for me.
No, absolutely. You and I can attest to that. And he said, yeah, you had 2 or 3 bad decisions go against you as well. Like,
Oh, don't get me started, bro. Come on.
uh,
We could do another podcast on those bad decisions, man.
yeah, and
That sucks. It sucks. It sucks having those losses, man. Those losses I don't feel like I earned. There's a song that says I've taken more losses than I've earned. And I really related with that because I don't feel like I earned those losses. I felt like I was a better fighter that day, and not getting my hand raised is a total mind fuck because
yeah, it is.
I
You
feel
can say
like a
that.
winner, but I'm not, And the last decision that I lost, I knocked the guy out on the third round. Like the commentating, I've watched it several times, and the commentating says, "I give it 1-1. Something big needs to happen this round." I knocked him down. I didn't finish, which I still scold myself about every day. I criticize myself. I'm like, I should have finished him. I should have kicked that motherfucker when he was coming up. I should have fucking split his skull in half, but I didn't. And I felt in those decisions that I lost, I felt like I didn't feel like I lost, but I didn't feel like I won either. And so swallowing that bitter pill, it was kind of easier because like I at the end of the day, I'm my biggest critic, and I'm like, well, you didn't really win that one, my boy. You kind of, it was kind of pretty. It was pretty even. It was hard to tell. So, yeah, but that last one, man, that last one is the pain in my ass even to this day. And I mean, the guys are still competing, so well, yeah, get my strap if they want to come at me, or else I'm out, because I'm not trying to play this regional bullshit game and fucking be insta famous and have my hometown support me, and like, even though I'm a shitty fighter, like I want to I want to get past that. So if they can step up their game and fight me when I have my belt, or step it up even further and fight me in the UFC, then I'll get those wins back. But I've come to have peace with those fights, with those decisions. And I mean, I could go on and on about how I won and how I didn't lose, and but at the end of the day, I am where I am for a reason, and the losses I took only made me better. They only made me angrier, and I relish in the anger. Like this next fight that I have, I'm gonna be so angry. Like I've gone through the 2 surgeries. I've had so much adversity in my personal life. Like I've been in the gutters mentally and emotionally. Like I felt like quitting. I felt like my life wasn't worth living, and like I have nowhere to go but down, or stay down. But I'm still pushing. I'm still fighting. So
That,
I'm still here. I'm still here. So that's who you're gonna fight when you're across the cage from me. You're gonna fight this person that's angry, that's resentful. That I try not to show it in person in my real life, but when it comes to the fighting, I'm not gonna hold anything back. I'm gonna show you who I really am and how angry I really am, and it's gonna go how it's gonna go.
that's it. That I mean, fuck, man. That's fucking. That's crazy. It's fucking crazy because, again, like I've never known what goes through. I've kind of stavored a little bit, and I was like, oh shit, this is what hell looks like. This is like I'm looking at the eyes of the devil himself. I'm in the devil's gate, the devil's playground and shit like that. So I'm like, I'm fucking too hot, and I pull away, So
Hmm.
I mean, this is earth shattering. Which, Rafael Newborn Morel, he has a technical question. He says, "How tall are you, and how hard is it to drop to 125 when you do it?"
I'm 5'6", and an eighth and a 16th actually. So I'm not just 5'6". I'm a little taller. Just kidding. I'm 5'6". I'm 5'6", and when I cut weight, I'm a big 25er, so I cut a good amount of weight. Um, I've had several camps though where I trained for a fight even if I didn't have one, so my weight stayed low, and the cut I could have made it within a week. 15 pounds at most. I'm walking around at over, which is for me is not a lot. I remember in high school I used to cut like 15 pounds in 3 days. So stuff to make wrestling weight and then compete on the weekend. Like I would make weight on Wednesday and then make weight on Saturday. So so yeah, I've had my I put in the time and effort to kind of dial into my weight and stuff. But I'm a big 25er. Like when I step in there, I'm pretty. I gain a good amount of weight, so I like that competitive edge. Eventually, I want to move up to 35. Once I've cemented my legacy as a flyweight, I want to move up and not have to deal with that weight cut. But until then, like I said, I dialed into making 25s, and I plan on continuing to do that as long as it's physically possible and that it's um in my best interest, because I'm not gonna cut weight or kill myself to not perform at my best. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense.
No, 100%. Now, this is Herman saying it, not me, and so I'm going to make that clear. Don't kill the messenger. But he says you're getting old.
Oh,
So,
he's
yeah,
funny. My wrestling coach, one of my wrestling coaches, I'm getting old.
he's getting old.
Yeah, I'm getting
I was like,
old.
what?
I'm getting real old. But he was my coach some 10, 12, 13 years ago. So what does that say about him? So
He's 172 in dog years.
we're both getting old in that standpoint. But yeah, I'm getting up there. Like I said, I'm gonna be 29. I've been competing in wrestling since 2006. So it's 14, going on 15 years of competing, uh, nonstop. I mean, besides the surgeries, I've been competing nonstop for more than half of my life. So I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to get back in there. I'm ready to show people how great I am, and to continue to shock people, because I like that I'm an underdog. Like this week we had a poll for Combate, and I thought I was gonna get blown out of the water. I actually did better than I thought, but I knew I was gonna lose, and more. I mean, for my morale, that sucks. Like, sucks losing, and losing even if it's a popularity contest. But like, I had to deal with that. I had to deal with that and take that L. So, it's I'm looking forward to where I'm at. To where I'm gonna be. I like being the underdog because I'm always gonna bet on myself, and when I win, everybody's gonna be like, I'm not surprised, motherfucker. I'm not surprised. This is what I trained for. This, like, you guys should have seen my interview with Adam Woods and know how much of a killer I am.
Yeah, no, 100%. Which, a couple quick hits here. Stephen Tatum says bad decisions make the greater results for the future, 100%. And he thinks what you quoted was a love song, the Love TKO. That's an old school
Mm,
jam. That's an old school
yeah,
jam right
maybe.
there. Yeah, and always push forward, Michael. Everyone running their own game to success. And
Mm-hmm.
they're the mindset, Michael. No, there's no Nate Robinson in you. Wishing you the best, my dude. 100%. And motivation is
Oh.
key. Uh, and what is your favorite entrance song that you've used?
uh, oh, Nate Robinson.
God, I was
Yeah.
talk about hard in the paint. Oh my gosh, I went hard. It because
Yeah, I seen that.
yeah, Shaman Steve says sick memes, and thank you, Alexandra. Thank you, Hermana. I've got the good memes, 100%. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. He isn't. The reason why I went so hard, right? Like, because I heard people like, oh, he was achieving his dreams of being like, no, 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 no. Here's the thing. So he's a professional athlete. At least he was, right? Out of all the people that play basketball, right, the world over, there's only a like a scant few, right, that are in the NBA, right? Maybe 1,000 players total, right? So you know what it means to do something, play a sport professionally, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
one involving not getting your head knocked off, right? So he comes into like this fight with a YouTube star, and he goes after the YouTube star. He goes hard in the paint, right? And he's telling Steph Curry, like, I'm gonna win this one for us. Like, the really, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did his I mean, obviously you train at Knuckleheads with Coach Haas, right? The, did you see that he trained at all in it? I think
I
he
mean, that's it's a misconception. Like, when you're athletic, that you're overall an athlete at everything. You can do whatever. I'm not gonna step onto a basketball court and say I can dunk. I'm not gonna
exactly.
I'm not gonna grab a football and say I can run over the best defensive team in the NFL. I'm not gonna step onto a tennis court and say that I'm gonna beat you. So I understand why somebody would do that. You know, exposure, money, self gratification, glory. Accomplishing something you've never done before, but sometimes you bite off more than you can chew, and that's definitely.
No, 1,000%. But that's why I went so hard in the paint with that guy. Yeah. I mean, to me, Nate Robinson, he kind of disrespected anybody that has ever step, foot in a ring or later a cage, So that's why I went kind of hard on Nate. So just say it. Uh, but it looks like Mike might have cut off. Let's see if we can get him back. But if you guys haven't already done so, this is According to Woods. And if you haven't already done so, I'd like you to probably subscribe because you're going to get content such as this, like Mike Reyes, and a bunch of other luminaries. So go ahead and search up According to Woods both on Facebook and YouTube, where you can get stuff just like this. And it looks like, looks like we don't have them, but I guess we'll take it out. But for Mike Reyes, I'm According to Woods, and we are Saved by the Bell moment. No, not really. But we are out.